Hi guys, Linda here again with you from Gumnut Lane Jewellery. Welcome back. This is a special tutorial that I'm putting out. It's been requested through my Facebook group and my channel. So I thought I would do this one for you. It's all about using liver of sulphur, using your Dremel, different ways to clean and polish your jewellery. It's especially about using the tumbler to tumble your jewellery, and then answering a few questions about, you know, what kind of stones and that you can put in the tumbler and that you can use liver of sulphur on. So, you know, just a general type of finishing your jewellery products. So, or projects, I should say, rather than products, projects. Okay, so I'll just get on with it, guys. I'll see you all soon. Okay, so I'm going to try and get through this as quick as I can. So I've got the chain that I've made in the this week's tutorial that was just posted a day or so ago, but this is the one we're going to be working on. Now I have in this chain, as you can see, there's darker links and just the bare copper wire. These links are darker because they've been annealed, which means they've been, I've used the torch on them. So that doesn't take, these don't take LOS very well, liver of sulphur. So what I do is I grab my Dremel, and I've got my, which you can see is almost worn down. That's how often I've used it. This is a 60 grit, no, sorry, this is an 80 grit on this one here. So I'm just going to remove the LOS, and this is what I do before I, not the LOS, sorry, the annealing, before I put it in the LOS. So I'm just going to do that real quick. Sorry about the noise. I also don't want to muck up my nail polish, so I'm going to do this real quick and careful. As you can see, it's removing that tarnish off, and I don't bother taking it off the chain. I leave it on, I just move it around so I can get into all those other places. Getting on top as well, on the sides of the link. Okay, so then I'll go over all my pieces on all my links on the you know, whatever I've annealed. I would do that first. So using a what did I say, 60 or 80, whatever grit, it doesn't matter. I use a 60 or an 80, and that doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning all of those off. And when we come back, we'll be ready to do, put them in the LOS and carry on from there. Okay, I've got my 3 bowls set up here for doing my oxidizing. And please excuse the state of the bowls. They're just old plastic Chinese food containers, takeaway food containers. And I just use them specifically for doing my liver of sulphur, my oxidizing. So the first one, this is where I'm going to put the liver of sulphur. This one here has baking bicarb soda in it, and I just use a plastic spoon. You don't have, this doesn't hurt you. This is non-harmful, so it doesn't matter. I just give that a bit of a stir to dissolve it. And then I've got my liver of sulphur. Now I've had this bottle for about 4 or 5 years, and as you can see, there's still quite a bit in it, so it's very cost effective. Okay, put that little guy back in there. And I just have half a wooden skewer here. This is what I use for my LOS. So I'm just going to dip that in, and you don't need very much at all. That's plenty. And I'm just going to swish that around till it changes to that yellow color and it's all dissolved. Put the lid back on that and put it away. Now I'm going to tell you, you should be wearing rubber gloves, but I don't worry about it. put my hands in it, so I'm not worried about it. So here's our chain here. I'm just going to drop that in, and this water is hot tap water, and this other bowl here has a bit of dishwashing liquid with water in it to clean up. Now this is different to what I normally do. Obviously I do this at my sink, but I didn't have anywhere to set my camera up, so I just had to improvise. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a swish around there with my trusty little wooden skewer here. It doesn't take very long if your water's hot. You can do it in cold water, but it takes longer to activate. And as you can see, it's already changing colour in there. It doesn't take very long at all, as I said. So I don't normally stand and swirl this around. I'm just doing this because there's nothing else to do at the moment. So I'm just having a little play. And you leave it in as long as you like. The longer you leave it, the blacker it gets. So depending on the effect you want, I'll just leave that a couple of seconds longer. Okay, I think that should do it for me. See, now I just fish it out with my stick. And I'm going to pop it straight into the bicarb soda. And I'll move this one out of the way. Now when I'm finished with this one, I tip the bicarb soda water into this container and pop a lid on it. That's for the smell, obviously, putting the lid on it. And I just let it sit for a day, and then it's safe to put it down the sink. So just give that a little swirl around. This doesn't need very long at all. It just stops the process of the LOS, the liver of sulphur. Okay, that's long enough. And that you can touch this with your fingers, it's perfectly fine. And I'm going to pop that into the soapy water. Put that one aside. As I said, I will add that one to the liver of sulphur mix. Okay, and then I just use an old toothbrush. This is why I've got this old cloth and these paper towels down, because this makes a mess. There was something I was going to say previously. Okay, that's what it was. If you, when I was using the Dremel to, I'm just going to give this a bit of a clean now. You don't have to be too exact with it. You're just taking the excess off. When I was using the Dremel, if you don't have a Dremel, don't panic. You can, to take the annealing off beforehand, you can use steel wool or a brass brush like this to take it off. Something else I was going to say about that. Let me think. All right, I'm not going to clean this whole thing in front of you. I'm just showing you what I do. But there was something else. Oh, okay. A lot of people use a pickle pot to take the fire scale off the, you know, the, how am I calling it? What it's called is fire scale when you torch it. That's what it's actually called. They use a pickle pot. I don't have anywhere to set one up, and you need a crock pot and, you know, all sorts of things, not chemicals, products and stuff like that to do it. And honestly, I couldn't be bothered, and I don't have the space, so that's why I do it my way. And the only way I'm ever going to show you is my way, because it works for me. And if it works for me, I'm sure it's going to work for you. But if you want to get yourself a pickle pot, by all means, go ahead and do that. It does bring it up very bright and shiny, but the way I do it works perfectly fine for me. So I'm just going to dip those, and so you do them both sides. Obviously, turn it over to the other side. Do your chain, you know, just get in there and give it a good brush. And then what I do is rinse it off under the tap. And so I'll leave that now, and when we come back, we'll be moving on to the next step. Okay, so let's talk about other ways to clean up your jewellery. Now, in the previous section, I showed you the using the liver of sulphur and the toothbrush and all of that. Now, if you don't have a Dremel or a tumbler or anything like that, You would still clean up your piece with the toothbrush, and then you could use steel wool. I don't use steel wool. I tried it once and it was an absolute disastrous mess, so I just gave up on that straight away, but you can use it. So after you've brushed it with your toothbrush, then you would grab your steel wool and you would go over it again with your steel wool. Now, having used steel wool, what happens is bits break off, so you're going to have a terrible mess wherever you're working, but also too, you have to make sure that you got all the little bits of steel wool out of your jewellery, otherwise it's going to rust, which will then taint your jewellery. So that's why I don't use it. It's because those little pieces can be very, very fine and very hard to see. So if you do that process, then you would move on to sanding, and that's what these are. They're sanding sticks. Now, as you can see, they've all got different numbers on them, and you can see that I've hardly even used them at all, because it's just a long, tedious process that to me it means you just have to add, if you're selling your jewelry, you just have to add more money onto the price of the jewelry because it takes you longer. These all have different grades on them, so you would start at the lowest number and move your way up to the highest number to polish up your piece using these sanding sticks. Okay, we'll move over that way. So I'll show you my way if I was going to be doing it. So I would do the LOS, use the toothbrush, make sure, rinse it off, make sure your jewelry's nice and dry, and then you can use your Dremel, or whatever a brand that you've got, it doesn't matter. So starting at, let me show you here, the lowest grade, which is the one you would start with, is an 80 grit. Now I would only use this if I had tool marks, scratches, things like that in my jewelry. If I don't have those, I just start off with the 120, which is the one that I've got in my Dremel now. Excuse me. And I don't use all of these grades that I've got on here. I would, I only use a few of them, so I'd go from the one that I had on my Dremel, so I'd move this one out of the way because I don't use him very often. And I would move on to the next one down, which is a 220 grit. And then I would move down to a 1000 grit, which is this one, and finish off with a 2500 grit, which is the pale silver one. You need to have at least 2 of these on your drill, 2 of these together on there. 3's better. I also have another brand here I just thought I'd show you. This one came in a nice little box, and it's got all your grits and everything up there. You've got your shanks and all your different colours, so you just follow those there with the grit numbers written on them. Okay, so that out of the way, let's move on to a piece. Now I've got a piece here that has been LOS'd and Liver of Sulphur. So if you're going to do that, what I would do is grab my Dremel, switch it on. Now this is going to be loud, and I would go over it. Being careful of your stones. And then do the back as well, but I'm not going to do the back now. I'm trying to save a bit of time here. And then I would move on to my next one, which is this one here. Just trying to find the little hole in there, pop that in there, pop that out. Tighten it up. You can see it's starting to shine up a bit more already. As I said, I'm not doing the back on that one. Now I'll just throw it in in the tumbler and finish it all off. I'm just showing you quickly, if you don't have a tumbler, you can still finish your jewellery off nicely. So I'm moving to the next grit now. Now you would spend a lot more time on doing this than what I'm doing at the moment, but as you can see, that's starting, like, that's pretty much almost shiny now. Move on to the next one. This is the last one. Unfortunately, I can't spend too much time on it because it takes too long to upload tutorials. So this is the last group. Oops. Make sure you support your piece. See how nice and shiny that's coming up now? Okay, as you can see, that's come up lovely and shiny there now. And so then what I would do is hit it with a Pro Polish pad, which I do have around here somewhere, but I'm going to talk about those in the next section anyway. So I will, or one of the sections, I'm not sure how I'm putting this together yet. So I will show you then using the Pro Polish pad. But that's how you would do it. Make sure you do the back as well. You can see the difference there. That's the back to the front. Obviously you would do the back of it, but it does a great job, but it's still more time consuming than using a tumbler. All right, so now we'll move on to the next section. Okay, let's move on to polishing by hand. So in the previous section, I showed you using the Dremel and getting it up to this shine here. So I have a clean Pro polishing pad here. Mine came in a pack of 50, and they're big beadsmith ones. I got them on Amazon, and I can't remember how much I paid for them. That was quite a while ago. All right, so your Pro polishing pad, it's, you know, springy, foamy, so it's going to be gentle on your piece. So you just, you know, it's obvious, you know, what am I trying to say here? It's, well, what I'm saying is, what am I saying? My God, Linda, get the words out. Well, the word Pro Polish stands for itself, so you're polishing the piece. So you just give it a good go over. As you can see, my piece is turning black there where I'm working on it. So you just go all the way over it. Do back and front, as I'm not doing the back, obviously. So give it a good go over with that, and that's brought it up even shinier. Or you could use a sunshine cloth. Now this is my dirty one that I've been using. Now when I say dirty, I've been using this one for well over 6 months, and it's pretty, I used a little bit of the back there, but it's still, you use these until they are totally black and there's not, you know, you can't use it any longer. And they came in a pack of 6, and I got those on Amazon as well, and I cannot remember. I know they were expensive, but they're going to last me a long, long time. So, yeah, so you could just, you know, give it a polish up with your sunshine cloth. All right, so that's what the piece looks like. As I said, I would normally spend longer on it, but you can see how nice it's come up already just in the short time that I spent on it. So that's another option there. And next we'll be moving on to using the tumbler. Okay, see you soon. Okay, we're moving on to the tumbler stage now. So I just wanted to mention before we go out and put the chain in the tumbler, of stones not to put in your tumbler. Okay, these are any sort of soft stones. So an example of that is pearls, turquoise, and by turquoise I mean natural turquoise, not your magnesite or howlite, they're fine. Coral, fluorite, any dyed stones, or anything that's below 6 on the Mohs hardness scale. Now, if you want to check that out, you can go to Gem Society, which is all one word, .org. That is the website for that. Just when you get there, just do a search for the Mohs hardness scale. That's what I would suggest that you do. So yeah, when we come back, I'm going to take my camera and go out to my laundry, and we'll be filming out there because that's where I've got my tumbler set up. All right, see you soon. Okay, so here we are at my laundry. Now I'm holding this in my hand, so I'm going to try and keep it as steady as I can, but if I don't, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's my tumbling machine here. You can see it's on by the light there. This is my container. This is what it looks like. Okay, I think this is a rock tumbling one, so it's a lot less expensive than the actual jewellery tumblers. All right, so I'm just going to get my... Okay, I'm going to have to stop for a second because I forgot to take the lid off my shot. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, back with you. So I've got the lid off my shot here, and as you can see, it's all different shapes and sizes and whatnot there. This is stainless steel shot, and that's the only shot you should use. This is going to be noisy. Hold on a sec. Okay, I've tipped my shot into my... trying to find a space to put this here. Into my tumbler. I'm going to pop my piece of jewellery in. Now, normally I would do more than one piece, but I'm just showing you this here. Trying to get my fingers out of the way. I'm going to tip some water. You don't need a lot of water, just to cover your shot and your piece of jewellery. So I'll try and get a shot. I can't get a shot of that. Anyway, hopefully you can see it's not too much there. And I've got some Shine Bright burnishing compound concentrate. So you only need a little bit of this. I got this on Amazon. I think it was about $30, I think, Australian dollars. So I'm just going to tip about that much in there. Don't ask me to tell you how much that is. That's just my guesstimation. Put the lid back on that before I knock it over. Then I'm going to grab the lid. There. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Not very easy. Okay. Now this tumbler has a side, it's got, I'm trying to hold it at an angle, holes in it. So you pop it in the one that's got the hole that goes all the way through. One side goes all the way through, and one side only goes, gosh, this is hard to do. One-handed, oh my God. Get that in there if I can. There we go. See it pop through the other side. The other side, it doesn't have a hole on the other side. So, now I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna have to turn the camera off again so I can put this on. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, back again. I've got that on. So I've got it going through the other hole here, and then you just flip that over and you hear it lock down like that. Now I've got a little cloth here on my tumbler, only because mine leaks a little bit. I've had it quite a while. It doesn't work. It's still working perfectly fine, so I'm not going to worry about it. So now I'm going to try and pick this up, tip it on its side. I'll show you the front of my tumbler there so you can see what it looks like and what the settings are on. Okay, so now all I'm going to do, you've got, you can go put it on like that, and it goes 2 ways. stop that, it takes too long. You can see there it's got 2 or 1. So 2 ways means that it tumbles one way and then spins around, tumbles back the other. I just put it on the one and let that go. So that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. So I've got a couple of other pieces to add into that, so I'll do that in a sec. Yeah, so that's all there is to do with the tumbler. It's quite easy. You let that go for an hour, and your pieces will come out beautiful. So I will show you those when this piece is done, and yeah, I'll be back with you soon. Okay, so it's been an hour. Everything's tumbled. Got it here in the thing. You can see how dirty the water is. I'm going to tip that into a strainer. Get all my shot out. Oh, piece, another, oh, okay, I found him. All right, then I'm going to give it a rinse under the tap. Give it a good rinse. Normally I would toss this around with my other hand, the shot of the jewellery, but I've got the camera in my hand, so I'm just doing the best I can here. Okay. Give it a shake off. Normally I would let it drip for a little while, like drain for a little while I should say. I'm going to bring it over here. Look, I nearly put you in the basket with it then. And I'm going to tip it. I've got an old tea towel here that I just used for this. And I'm not sure what you call a tea towel in the US, but it's what you dry your dishes with. I've got shot here everywhere. I'm usually better at this, but I'm doing it one-handed. All right, so put that out of the way. I'm just going to pick my jewellery out. And it's always tangled, so don't panic over that. Give it a little bit of a shake, get as much shot out because it's going to have pieces of shot stuck inside the jewellery. Just get all my little pieces out here. Okay, I think that's it. And then what I do is I just spread it out on this tea towel. There's a piece there. Spread it out like this. And let it thoroughly dry before I put it away. Okay, so I'll finish this here and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so here's our piece, totally dried out of the tumbler. And look how beautiful and shiny that piece is. There's not a burr to be seen. You can run your fingers over it. It's all nice and smooth. It's just beautiful. And it's cut out all that work that I had to do with the Dremel and the sandpaper and, all of that. So I didn't use a sandpaper, but the Dremel and all of that sort of stuff. So it just brings it up ready to be sold. Last step in the process would be adding your protector clear. As I showed in a video I put on my Facebook group, I keep mine in a nail polish bottle. This never had nail polish in it. I bought the bottle without nail polish in it. Marked it PC for protector clear, so I know what it is. And I'm not going to do it now, but I'll just do it just a little bit. Just paint it on like so, all over the piece. To get it into the nail polish bottle, this is the protector clear. Now this is not cheap stuff. It's quite expensive, but it's well worth it. I just use a little funnel to pour it into the bottle so I don't waste it. And yeah, so protector clear is my recommendation. I know a lot of people use Renaissance wax. I wouldn't use Renaissance wax, and only for one reason is it's because it's a wax. It gets clogged, like it clogs things up. It gets stuck. It's really hard to use. This is what I'm trying to get to. But if you want to give Renaissance wax a go, I'm not knocking the product. I think it's a lovely product. I just found it very hard to use as opposed to this. Yeah, I wanted to show you one more thing. Hold on a second. I'll just be back in a sec. Okay, sorry about that. I had to grab this. For doing things like chains, I mean, that's going to take you forever to paint on the protective clear. So I just use crystal clear varnish. It's colourless, fast drying. It's for all handicrafts. It prevents varnishing. Yeah, so that's what I do. I just lay it out on some paper towel and spray the front of the piece. Leave it for about an hour. Turn the piece over, spray the other side. I do it a couple of times to give it a good coating of this, and it works perfectly fine for me. So any other things like pendants and stuff like that, I would definitely use the Protector Clear on. So I covered Renaissance wax. Okay, there was also a question about using Protector Clear on coated wire. You don't need to do that. It's already got a coating on it, so there's no need to use Protector Clear on that. Also too, don't put coated wire through your tumbler. There is absolutely no purpose in doing that at all. The wire is already protected and it's shiny, so all you're going to do is scratch the coating on it, which can lead it to tarnish, so don't do that either. There was another question on copper sending the skin green. Now, it doesn't happen to me. I'm quite fine to wear copper jewellery. It doesn't happen, but I know it does happen to some people. It's usually caused by sweat or just a reaction in somebody's skin type. So the Protector Clear totally takes care of that. It's hypoallergenic, so you're not going to have a problem like coat your ear wires and stuff like that in it, so people don't have a reaction. What else was I going to say? Okay, so it's covered the skin. Don't put it on, you can put it on your gemstones. It really brings the colours and everything out of your gemstones. It can look, try it on one and see what you think, as opposed to like if you've got two of the same type of gemstone, put it on just a small patch on the back maybe, and see what you think. I think it looks lovely, and it also protects your gemstones. But don't put it on pearls, opals, or like soft plastics, or anything like that, or any really delicate stones. Don't be putting it on those. But anything on your Mohs hardness scale over 6 is perfectly fine to put it on. Protector Clear on bare wire, like your natural copper wire, and you want it to stay that way, absolutely put it on. It's going to keep it the copper colour. Anything else I can think of? I'm trying to remember if I've covered everything. Okay, your Liver of Sulphur. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in earlier. I don't think I did. But don't put anything like any soft stone in your Liver of Sulphur. So things again like pearls, turquoise. So I don't mean your magnesite or howlite. They're fine, but natural turquoise don't. Lapis lazuli, shells. Any stone that can withstand firing. So like if you've a silversmith or a goldsmith or something like that is putting a stone into a piece and firing to set like a bezel or whatever around it. Any stone like that is perfectly fine to go into LOS. So if you put any of those stones that I just mentioned in, they'll discolor. Also to matte beads. Don't put anything that's a matte in there because it's porous and it will soak up the colour. So I think I've covered everything, guys. Yeah, that's all I can think of. As again, any more questions, if I've forgotten anything, please just leave it down in the comments and I'll try and answer it to the best of my ability. I hope you all enjoy this. It's taken me all day to do this tutorial, all day. I can't believe it. That's like 6 hours it's taken me. Anyway, that's my problem, not yours, but I'm just letting you know. Yeah, so that's it. Again, Facebook, I'll leave a link down the bottom for that if you'd like to join our private Facebook group. That's where this video actually came from. It was from questions on there. So, that's very informative and lots of inspiration. So there'll be a link down the bottom if you'd like to join that. All right, guys, that's all from me. Take it easy and go out there and make something beautiful. and I'll see you all next week. Bye. Okay, and just one last thing as a bonus. I just thought I'd quickly add it in. If you sell your jewellery, packaging. So I don't sell my jewellery at the moment, but I did plan on doing it, and I do plan on doing it in the future. So I'd already bought this stuff. So, so your pieces all, sorry about that, your pieces are all finished up, and you've sold some, and you're ready to start packing it up to post it off. So I bought some airtight bags here. I've got them in 1, 2, 3 different sizes. So depending on what you're, if I can get this open, depending on what you're selling, I should have got these out to start with. I would say that one would be for like a chain, a pendant and chain, you know, whatever. Next size, oh, actually I've got one out for that one. Again, you could, if it's a smaller piece, a pendant, chain, whatever, in the next size down. And this one, and also earrings, depending on length on that one. Actually, I would say earrings probably would be in that one. And this one here, if you had a small pair of earrings or a ring, that's a size there. And as you can see, they're totally airtight, so you know, they're not going to let any of the air in, which we know is not good for our jewellery. Now, inside the package, so I would not actually put the piece in these unless that's what you would like to do, and then you were just going to, you know, bubble wrap it and then wrap it up in some pretty paper or whatever. By all means, do that then. What I planned on doing was putting one of these in with whatever piece I was selling, along with, if I can get this open, let's get this open. Funny, where does it open? It's been that long since I've had a meal, I can't even remember how it opens. Anyway, I'm not going to play around with that. So what I would do is pop inside one of these bags a little cleaning cloth that I have here. So I would just fold that over and pop it inside, along with a thank you card. Now, you could put whatever you like on this. You could give them a 10% off or something on the next purchase, whatever you wanted to do. I've just got my instructions there. I should take my phone number off. And then it says on the back, care instructions on the back. So you flip it over, and I've put all my care instructions there for the piece, and I would pop that inside the bag as well. And then I've got some jewellery boxes here. You know, you've got your space there to put your pendant, earrings, a ring, and just a bracelet you would just set on top. So I would pop all of that stuff, if you could fit it in underneath like that, pop your jewellery piece in, and then pop your lid on, and do it up with a pretty bow. I bought some beautiful chiffon ribbon that's just absolutely gorgeous. I've tried to find it and I can't find where I've put it right now. But there was one more thing I forgot to mention. Inside your little bag, get these out. Inside your little bag, I would pop a little piece of carbon paper inside your little bag there, so that when the people are storing their jewellery, they've got that in there to soak up all, you know, the yuckies and the air, whatever. Anyway, you know what carbon paper does. Yeah, to keep their jewellery nice. So I just thought I'd add that little bit extra.